In today's aquarium video, I thought let's talk about rocks. Something you don't see much in this fish tank, but something I've had a lot of over the years. Some rocks are used in aquariums and many rocks are not, because some rocks contain some toxic metals which could over time poison the fish. So rocks for aquariums are typically aquarium safe rocks, often volcanic, and not going to dissolve anything unwanted into the water. So here are some Australian volcanic rocks which are collected around the Nullarbor Desert. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and you can see that rocks can be combined together to make interesting shapes and combinations and caves, somewhere for the fish to go and hide. So no single rock on its own has to have all the features that you want, but between 2 or 3 or 4 rocks in combination, you can make them look really interesting. And if your aquarium needs a bit of a change, you can always pull them apart and recombine them into a completely new shape that changes everything about how the aquarium looks. So rocks definitely are part of the aquascaping toolkit, and they do make a tank look completely however you want a tank to look. And this collection of rocks has taken me over 35 years, I guess. I've had these in my garage and I'm not using them in my aquarium, and here are some reasons why. Because most rocks are solid, they displace their volume of water. That is, they make the water in your aquarium less, and the more rocks that you have, the more water you lose in the volume of your tank, which is what we use to keep our fish healthy, with the fish waste diluted by the volume of water. So the less water you have, the faster the wastes concentrate in the tank. So rocks actually take away from the volume of your tank, which is far less a problem when you have a very large aquarium. But my tanks are small to medium, and therefore rocks have quite a large effect on how much water volume these tanks contain, and how many fish I can have, and how fresh I can keep that water by having the fish's wastes diluted by the tank volume. So in my small and medium tanks, I've progressively had less and less rocks in my aquascapes, and that's mainly the reason why. Just the fact that I lose water capacity with every single rock I put into the tank. Whereas live plants have a very bushy filling effect, but by volume don't reduce the water capacity anywhere near the same as rocks do. Another thing about rocks is that because they are very hard, sometimes there can be sharpish edges to them, and when fish are chasing in the tank through breeding or through some territorial aggression, when fish are running away from other fish, sometimes they bang into rocks, and that can cause some injuries to the fish's slime coat, which can then perhaps get infected. So I do prefer my decorations in the tank to be a little bit on the softer side. So whilst wood, which I do have in my tank, is also solid, it tends to be a bit more softer on the outer coating, particularly because biofilms grow on wood really well, which is another thing that the catfish, like bristlenose catfish, love to graze on biofilm on the wood. But the wood is nowhere near as sharp typically as what rocks are. And the third and final reason why rocks really aren't part of my aquascaping these days is that I am always worried about rocks falling over in the tank, particularly when some of the fish get a bit bigger and maybe move around the bottom of the tank like these big clown loaches do. If rocks which are stacked up on top of each other, if any of those rocks get a bump and the stack comes down, then a rock can very easily go against the glass of your tank and it can cause a crack, which could then mean that all the water in your tank all ends up on your floor, which in my case is carpet. And gosh, look, a broken tank is the last thing I want to have to deal with, particularly when I'm married, and my wife would not appreciate that at all. So rocks inside the aquarium falling over, hitting the glass, causing a leak, would make an enormous drama. Trying to save the fish, you would lose your heater, and honestly the hobby would be just about ruined for me if such a catastrophe were to happen. You can start again, of course, but I would just dread the idea. So for me, I can do without rocks. So that's my top 3 reasons why rocks are not a part of my aquascaping anymore. So tell us down in the comments, what are your thoughts? Are you a rock lover or a rock hater? And let's see if we can get some opinions down there, and maybe it's all just me. But thanks for watching this aquarium video. I hope your tanks are going well, and now that you've gotten this far, why not click on this one over here and watch another aquarium video.